What's the scouting report on San Diego State's defense?
Basically like it always is. Very, very good defense, flies around, very aggressive, cause a lot of turnovers, very good at what they do. They don't really have a weakness. They're good at every spot. So it's a great challenge for us.
I think they call it the Aztec, wherever that extra little spot is. And a lot of teams have started doing something similar to that. But what is it about just the uniqueness of their defense that makes it hard to prepare for?
Yeah, just kind of like what you just said. I mean, some teams are starting to do similar versions of it, but they've been doing it for a long time. It's what they do. They're really good at it, and you don't see it on a week in and week out basis. So it's unique to them. So it creates a challenge for us.
What have they done to get some turnovers?
I mean, that's a good question for them, Bob. I think it's part of their mentality. I think it's part of, obviously, they're playing with the right eyes and fundamentals and technique to be in the right spot to make those plays. But I think that's just the nature of their defense. They're flying around, they cause confusion, and then they make plays when they're there.
What have you seen out of your group? How would you kind of assess the tight end position through 3 games?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of growth. I've seen a lot of improvement from our older guys all the way down to our young guys that are helping us prepare each week on the scout team in various roles. So I like where our mentality is. I like the improvement we've made, and that's just got to be consistent week in and week out. But I think we're definitely getting better.
Where do you think your tight ends can get better?
Oh man, there's a million things, just like, at every position, because it's football. Just being consistent in the run game, being consistent in the pass game when we get our opportunities to make that play, just making sure we do it every time.
I know you guys take the one game at a time, 1-0, but you're starting conference play, obviously, and this program has 2 Mountain West titles in the last 8 years. I mean, how badly, I guess, do you guys want to win the conference, and that obviously starts, with Friday night?
Yeah, I mean, the goal has remained the same for a long time. You guys already know about that. So the sense of urgency is always high. The standard's high, and so we know it starts this week with our first conference game. So the sense of urgency is always there. That's part of what makes our program great. But it is conference game. It is a good opponent, so we got to make sure that we're continuing to prepare and do our best.
There's been 5 different teams win the Mountain West in the last 8 years. I mean, just the parity in this league and how good this league is, and going on the road, it never seems like there's an easy game. Just what is it about the last couple of years in this league that's made it so tough?
I mean, it's just everybody's competitive. Everybody keeps getting better. I think that's what you want, though. You want to be in a conference where you're challenged week in and week out, and everybody's battling for that top spot. I think that says a lot about our conference, about the other schools in our conference, and about where we're going.
On the run game coordinator side of things, how do you assess how Breezy has done getting an increased load?
I thought he did a great job last week. I thought he did a great job stepping in there. He made some plays. He ran hard. So as a freshman, there's always that first moment when you get into a game and you look around, and eventually those butterflies wear off, and it's just football. And that's what we talked to him about, and he really showed what he's capable of doing. So I'm excited about what he does moving forward.
Do the schemes change that much if you have a kind of inexperienced running back coming in?
I wouldn't say the schemes change. I think you just got to be smart with what you put on his plate. You can't put everything all at once on him. That's a lot for a young guy to kind of internalize and know. So you just got to be smart, make sure they're in the right positions to succeed.
What's impressed you most with how the offensive line has played?
I think it's guys stepping up. There's been various guys having to go in and step up and do their part, and that continuity's stayed there the entire time. I think it's very competitive right now on the offensive line. We've had some key pieces that are helping contribute to guys, trying to get better, trying to compete each day in practice. And I love the mentality those guys have been playing with.
Last year, San Diego State was a turning point. Obviously, 0 points in the first half and then 35 in the second half. Looking at this year, obviously, you're in a fairly similar position. What do you hope for the run game?
Yeah, I mean, really the run game just goes back to being efficient. Being efficient, keep moving the ball, setting the tone as far as our offense, our mentality, and then creating explosives when they're there. But it's all about just being efficient in the run game and what that creates for everything else in our offense.
What is it, maybe is there anything that you've seen with San Diego State that might
make you feel confident that maybe this could be the game where there's a couple, 2, 3, 5 catches out of your position? It feels like, in the receiving game, Nate, that it's just been non-existent. You just never see a tight end, it feels like, make a big catch.
Yeah, I thought last game it was good to see Riley make a big catch on the trick play. The reality is we got a lot of skilled positions, a lot of weapons on the outside. I think you guys saw that. So it's finding that balance of getting everybody involved and taking advantage, like I talked about, when those opportunities do come. But when you have a situation where you got a lot of guys on the perimeter that can make plays, you know, it's important that everybody gets that opportunity.
Genty's handled a sizable load so far. Against Breezy, and having Breezy actually be the rushing leader last game, how big is that for his development, and what do you see in him going forward?
Yeah, I think it's huge for his development. It's just that experience. It's that confidence that he builds every time he carries the football. So he's just got to keep doing it. As his role grows, you know, he's just got to keep that mindset, keep that mentality, keep that kind of freshman mindset where he's going to go out and just keep getting better each week, each game, each rep.
As a run game coordinator, do you get to work at all with Talon and finding opportunities for him when coach says that teams are working so hard to stop him from having opportunities to run?
Yeah, I mean it's a full operation as an offense. Me working with Coach Hammond and with Talon on an everyday basis. Just trying to find opportunities for him to use his legs. We know what type of weapon he is. Everybody else knows that too, but it's still our job to put him in positions to impact the game and to help our team.